your dreams.
Hey, how's it going, guys? Welcome back to another Wuthering Waves video, and today I'm just going to be talking about Cartethyia. That's basically about it. Cartethyia is the new upcoming 5-star arrow sword user coming to Wuthering Waves. The meat of Cartethyia's kit is basically going to be her Resonance Liberation, her Fleur de Lis form. The Resonance Liberation will allow Cartethyia to transform into Fleur de Lis, the big mommy elf. This will cost Cartethyia 50% of her HP, so you will be able to use this at any time. If you are below 50% HP, you will not consume HP instead, but you'll still transform into Fleur de Lis. During this Fleur de Lis form, Fleur de Lis will gain 60% arrow damage bonus, and whenever Fleur de Lis attacks an opponent, she'll gain this stack called Determination. She can hold up to 120 of these stacks, and once she gains all this stack, if she uses her Resonance Liberation, she will unleash an actual ultimate, the Sword Beam ultimate. Translation calls it Roaring Tidal Stormblade. I think it's going to be called something else, since I think the translation here is a little off. If Fleur de Lis does not have 120 determination points, instead of using her awesome Resonance Liberation, she'll revert back to her small form again. Other things that Fleur de Lis can do is that she can walk on water. While you're in this Fleur de Lis form, she cannot use any grappling hooks or any other gadgets. Otherwise, Fleur de Lis will revert back to her small Cartethyia form. Forgot to mention that when Cartethyia transforms into Fleur de Lis, she will enter this state called the manifestation state for 12 seconds. While in this manifestation state, the enemies will take increased arrow erosion damage. Even though Fleur de Lis is a big part of Cartethia's kit, Cartethyia herself does have some uses. She can at least apply arrow erosion on the enemy. On Cartethia's 4th basic attack, she'll basically apply 2 stacks of it on the enemy. She could also apply 2 stacks of it with her charged attacks. So Cartethyia does have a way to apply arrow erosion on the enemies. She doesn't need to rely on CIA in order to apply arrow erosion. So it doesn't seem like Cartethyia will be like another Zani situation. Zani does need I forgot the mechanic. I think it's like Spectro Dazzle or whatever. She needs another teammate to inflict Spectro Dazzle, but at least Cartethyia can inflict her own arrow erosion. I also forgot to mention that when Fleur de Lis uses her Resonance Liberation, the Storm Blade, Roaring Tide thing, whatever, she will restore 70% of her HP. So Fleur de Lis is pretty self-sufficient. Along with the new Cartethyia, we're also getting a new Echo set in 2.4. The leaks doesn't say anything about the name, but the 2P set will increase arrow damage by 10%, and the 5P set, after you apply arrow erosion on enemies, it'll increase your crit rate by 10% and increase arrow damage by 30%, lasting for 10 seconds. Increased crit rate is pretty good since it'll help a little bit with Cartethia's build. She does seem like a bit of a pain to build since she doesn't really scale off of crit rate. As for Cartethia's signature weapon, the Crown of Unyielding Destiny, it does have the substat of HP, and it'll also increase Cartethia's HP by 12%. Within 3 seconds of casting an intro skill or basic attack, the damage caused by the self ignores 8% of the target's defense. I think that means that Cartethyia will just ignore the enemy's defense. When the target's wind erosion is greater than 1 layer, the damage caused by the target is amplified by 20%. Obviously, with many other gacha games, her signature weapon is going to be her best weapon. The HP substat is pretty important for Cartethyia since she loses 50% of it when she transforms into Fleur de Lis. The more HP that Cartethyia has, the better. So make sure you have some HP stats. Cartethyia will not have that many great weapon options since her signature weapon does have the HP substat. She needs a lot of HP, and not many other swords will provide her with HP. But at the end of the day, it is a single player game, so you don't really need her signature. Cartethyia herself seems like a pretty strong, self-sufficient character. I know a lot of people are worried that she needs CIA in order for her to perform. However, you don't really need CIA. However, CIA will help quite a lot. CIA provides a lot more arrow erosion stacks, and with her consort solo, she can also basically increase the party's arrow damage by, I don't remember, I think it's like by 60% or 20%, I don't remember. But CIA is a pretty good teammate for Cartethyia. If you really care about Cartethyia performing her very, very best, then CIA is a must pull. But if you don't care like me, then you can easily just skip CIA. There have been people that have managed to use Zani without Phoebe, so I'm pretty positive that you could use Cartethyia without CIA. I do think Fleur de Lis will be pretty good for solo content anyways, since she can self-heal. So if you are interested in soloing content with the character, I do think Cartethyia will be a pretty good pickup. Like I said before, personally, I'm just gonna skip CIA. I will pull for Cartwheel and her weapon. Maybe I'll pull for Lupa. I haven't really done any research on Lupa. I don't know exactly what Lupa does, but maybe I'll pull for her just because she is a wolf girl. Basically about it. Let me know what you guys think. Anybody pulling for Cartwheel here? Let me know in the comments, and I will see you guys later.
Bye bye now. Come again soon.